It's really an honor to me to be here to address all of you at this momentous moment in our history. We are at the crossroads. I can feel it in the air. I can feel it on the ground. And I'm sure you can too. Now, today is the last day of our campaign, and I want to use these brief few minutes to address something that Khaw Boon Kwan, our health ministers, had said. Right in the beginning of our campaign, on nomination day, my team and I, we tossed him a challenge. We asked him to come debate us, his team and my team, and he says no. We challenged him again and again, and in refusing, he gave a lame excuse. He says it's because we wanted to have the opportunity to appear on national television. Well, never mind. Since we don't have the chance to debate him one-on-one, eyeball to eyeball. But when we propose to Singaporeans our plan for healthcare, the SDP solution for healthcare, and by the way, you can get that from yoursdp.org. It's all there. You can read it and you can download it, copy it, and give it to your friend. Our solutions are there. Now, when that was being presented to Singaporean, he then started taking pot shot at us and start questioning us. And despite his lack of guts to debate us, he threw us a few questions. And he called our idea cheap. He says ideas are cheap. If it is so cheap, how come he cannot come up with ideas? So we have ideas, and he called it cheap. And then he says, yes, you have these ideas, and well, your objectives is pretty much similar to ours, but how do you implement it? It is very, very difficult to implement it. Well, let me respond to that. Well, let me respond to that. All right? Let me respond to that. It is not so much the question that he asked, it is the way in which he asked that troubles me very much, dear fellow Singaporeans. Because he says it is difficult to implement it. Why do we pay him for? He is paid to solve difficult problems. If it is a problem that any Tom, Dick, and Harry can solve, then he should be getting $1,000 a month, not $3 million a year. Nevertheless, I will briefly and quickly answer his question. This is what we'll do. Many of the resources that he is talking about, like additional doctors, nurses, and so forth, they are already available in our society. Remember, Singapore has got talent. They are out there already. If you have been to your doctors, your GP, in your neighborhood, you probably know that you have to wait a long time because people generally go at the time before or after work. And so a lot of people see their GP during those peak or prime time period. But there are also times within a day where your GP do not have that many patients to do. We can allow these senior GPs to be consultants in our hospital that is lacking doctors. And that is using resources efficiently and effectively. Now I ask Mr. Quay, is that idea cheap? Now, regarding the physical structures, we have lots of void decks. Does it hurt to just use a few of these void decks to turn them into polyclinic or some kind of chronic care for people who need them? And these are resources that we already have. We don't have to spend a lot more to get them. And so, to answer Mr. Quay, we not only have the ideas of how we should direct Singapore for our welfare, our health care, but we also have detailed plan as to how that can be achieved. Now I ask Mr. Quay, it's time you answer our question. He talks about 500 million worth of projects for the Sembawang GRC, where my team and I will be contesting him. Great, sounds good on the newspaper, especially the newspaper have this inclination to put those up in big letters for them. But we ask Mr. Quay over and over again, tell us that plan. He cannot. We ask him, where's the money coming from? What are the plans? What the $500 million are for? He's silent about it. Well, let me tell you another thing. The reason why we at the SDP are so concerned about these issues, the healthcare issues, is because you told us so. We did a survey and you told us that is one of the major issues that you are concerned about. And in our shadow budget, we even asked for an increment in our national spending for healthcare. Imagine we are spending $12 billion for defense, but only $1.6 billion. Sorry, I take that back. 12% of our GDP for our defense, but only 1.6% of our GDP for defense, for healthcare. What does that say to you? It's saying to me at least that, well, we should be protected from death by warfare. But hey, you can die of illnesses. That's okay. That's not okay with the SDP because we see you as the most important assets of our nation. It is you we are fighting for. And there's only one thing you must do on Saturday. Let's do this together. Vote for the SDP.